My name's Bear of the Squid and Bear channel, and I'm going to show you how to change the drive belt on your Cub Cadet tractor. Lawn tractor. It ain't a tractor, it's a lawnmower. This is an LT1050. It's old. I don't know how old, but it's old. But I just watched a video from another guy on YouTube. He's like, oh, that's real easy. You don't even have to drop the mowing deck. Yeah, you do. All right, you just get right in there and just turn this nut off. Good luck. So, improper orientation for a lawnmower, roger that. I have stood the lawnmower up so that I could work at it. I took the deck tensioning bar off, separated the deck from the front end of the machine. Also, I could get in here and turn this 5/8 bolt. You loosen counterclockwise, it's standard threading. This is the bolt that holds the clutch assembly for the mower deck on to the shaft from the motor. This bolt, this 5/8 bolt, right there. You see how there's flats machined here, here, and here? Those flats are so you can put a wrench on there so that the shaft of the motor does not turn when you try and loosen that bolt. If your machine is like my machine, that bolt is not going to come off easily. If your machine is like my machine, you're not going to get an adjustable wrench in there. So I would recommend either an end wrench of the appropriate size, probably in the 1 5/16 range, just from looking at it, or a pair of these bad boys, so you can get in there and hold it. That's a 5/8 bolt. It did not turn easily. In fact, it took one of these to get it to turn. One of these and one of these. So be forewarned. So now that we have that loose, I'm going to pull that clutch assembly off right here. I'm going to take that off so that I can maneuver the belt into position. Stand by. All right, clutch assembly is away from the shaft on the motor. You can see it is a keyed shaft. So there's a raceway there for a key. That's what transfers the rotational energy of the motor to the clutch. This clutch probably weighs 12, 15 pounds or so. And you'll also see this groove here aligns, when you go to put this back on, aligns with this bar right here so that the clutch cannot wobble back and forth, right? It engages there. And there is a plug here on the side of the motor that you're going to have to pull that off. Don't just yank on this thing. Remember, it's old. You'll pull the wires out of it. So delicately undo that electrical connection, and then this whole assembly will come away and we will have access to the actual drive pulley off of the motor. Clutch is gone. Plug is unplugged. We are ready to proceed. We are going to put our new belt, which is a 79-inch belt or so. I got an MTD belt because it looked like it was the right belt to get, and my options were wait 6 weeks for one to show up at my front door or buy this one now, and I needed one now. So we're going to route this. See, there are 3 pulleys down here, and see that fan down there? That is the fan on top of the transmission box. You see the pulley. We'll go around that pulley. We're gonna go around the pulley, down here, up through backside here, front side here. We're gonna leave this loose for right now, come up through this assembly and around the motor pulley, and then we will sneak this portion here around this pulley. Picture says 1,000 words. Stand by. All right, so I've got the belt routed. I'm gonna get it down around that fan pulley, up around this tensioner, backside around this idler, up through here. Then we're gonna get it around this drive pulley. This drive pulley is not gonna wanna just pop off magically, okay? At least mine isn't. And it needs to come forward so we can sneak the belt around, because it's got these little protective ears that stick out here to keep stuff from jacking with the belt. That's great, assuming that this pulley actually slides forward easily. Mine doesn't, and the pulley is not near as hard as the steel surrounding it, so be careful prying it, because you can easily bend it and or chip it and break it, and then you're gonna be screwed because this thing is on there. So bear all of that in mind. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in this case. Spray it down with some WD-40 or PB Blaster or something and just work it back and forth, and we'll get it to slide forward. All right, y'all. I could not get this pulley to come forward, so instead I took a chisel, tapped it in to here, and pried these 3 ears up, slipped the belt on, and now I'll take a dead blow hammer and knock those 3 ears back square. But I just being dead honest with you, you may have to do that. This thing would not come off of this shaft. I don't know if it's pressed onto the shaft or what. It seems like I can see a little bit of daylight in between it and the shaft, but it does not budge. Mine does not budge. I don't know what yours is gonna do, but if you can't pull it off, you may need to knock these 3 ears out of square, slip the belt on, and then knock them back into square again. And that's about 1/16 of an inch mild steel, so not the worst thing in the world, but you know, not precisely easy either. All right, route it around the drive shaft pulley, around the gearbox pulley down here, around this pulley, behind this pulley, and then the last step will be to get this over this idler. Okay, so around the drive shaft pulley, down around the back of this pulley, inside the idler, down around the transmission gearbox pulley, up around the inside of this idler, or inside of this pulley, and up around again. So I don't remember if I've said it or not, but inside the deep groove, V-groove pulleys, that's where the V portion of the belt goes. The flat side of the belt will always land on a flat-sided pulley like this. This is just flat, whereas this has a deep groove in it. See the difference? So if you're wondering about belt routing, that will always help you out. V-groove gets the V side of the belt, flat pulley gets the flat side of the belt. Okay, now you're going to want to use a pipe wrench or something, carefully rotate the drive shaft, or the motor shaft rather, to about the 1030 position, more or less pointing just over the top of this yellow bracket, because you can see inside the clutch, see that key right there? That slides into that groove, and this notch right there slides over and around this yellow iron bar. So that has to, everything has to be pre-positioned to line up properly, or that's not going to go in there. And you need to fish this wire through and connect it before you slide the clutch on. So clutch is back in, wire is reconnected right here. That goes up to the PTO switch. When you pull the PTO switch, that makes electrical connection across here, which engages the clutch. And the reason that this goes across here is because this is keyed, this wants to spin, and see that keeps it from spinning, so that rotational energy is transferred to the pulley, which turns the belt, which spins the mower blades. Yeah, I know I need new blades. I'm just waiting on a spare $100 to do them. So that's how that all works. We're going to tighten down this 5/8 grade 8 bolt. We'll torque that down and then put the deck belt back around here, put the hanger bar back in, and remount the deck and torque everything up and call it a day. Pro tip, you should probably remember about this washer that you put up here, and then take this back off and put this washer in between the clutch assembly and the drive belt the way it was intended to be, unlike myself, which forgot about it because it was sitting up here. So we're going to take all this apart, put this washer back in, and then put it back together again. So you should do that the first time, not the second time. All right, so we got our hanger bar back in here. Those are 3/4 inch nuts up there. So we will tighten those down and then put the lock nuts on them. We got the mowing deck belt back on. And if you're ever wondering what the proper arrangement for that is, they actually hide that information right here on the mowing deck. Yeah, I know it needs to get cleaned. Life. Welcome to the homestead. There's always something that needs to get done, and cleaning the lawnmower is like a level X priority. So, all right, we're gonna tighten this up. That'll suck the mowing deck back up underneath, and we'll flip it down, and we will wait 10 minutes for all the oil in this engine to go back to the place that it's supposed to be, and then we will fire the machine up. Another pro tip, get your adjustment nut started, then get your jam nut on top of it and get them lined up. See that? And I've left about a 1/16 of an inch between them, and that way when you take your mighty socket, slide it over the top of both, and as you're tightening, you're moving both nuts at the same time. So when it comes time to tighten that jam nut down, you're already all the way there, other than a 1/16 of an inch. So you're basically cutting your ratchet time in half. And that works for a lot of applications, but especially in an application like this, it just saves you a little bit of time. All right, we got it back together, got the deck back on. We're letting the oil drain since it was vertical, now horizontal again. So I figured I'd just take a quick minute to just go over some of the tools that I use to do this with. A good pair of pump pliers, or you know, you can call these whatever you want to call them. I believe the technical name is pump pliers. So a good pair of these. A little offset pipe wrench helped. This is what I use to pry those tabs on the, and it looks, I mean, you can see it's not straight anymore, but that's what I use to pry those tabs around the drive belt. An adjustable wrench, a dead blow hammer, a good set of deep well sockets, and some regular impact sockets, as well as my handy dandy 7-year-old used and abused and adored DeWalt 20-volt impact gun, who has clearly seen better days, but I use this thing every day, and the only thing I've ever done to it is replace the brushes one time. Other than that, and look at it. Look how beautifully destroyed it is. Still got all the torque in the world. Just beat a brand new Makita impact 20-volt side-by-side comparison. Driving 3-inch screws about 40% faster. So they don't make them like they're used to. The new stuff is not near as good as that. But anyway, these are the tools that I use to put this steaming pile of probably should be replaced back together again. I'm an idiot. I had the mowing deck too low. The blades were in the dirt. It's hard to mow dirt. I'm gonna try that again. Where you go, little key? right, y'all, so there you go. Thanks for sticking around, coming along on this little homesteading journey with me here. If you like this, subscribe, like, share. We do all kinds of stuff like this on this channel. This is my first ever walkthrough on a repair or homesteading type thing. So if you liked it, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. We have a Patreon. You can check that out if you want. The barrier to entry is $1, and that gets you all kinds of very useful stuff. We do custom 3 times a week mini consultations for people there, where you tell us, ask us a question, and Squid and I will answer you with exactly what we think. So I hope this helped y'all. I hope it was better than that video that I was trying to watch to figure out how to fix this thing. That thing had me rather upset. And I would just like to say, I only felt like yelling bad words 2 times while performing this repair. So that's pretty good for me. So shalom and blessings, y'all. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.